Hello and welcome to Caden's Comm Tips 101. This is episode 2, and today we are going to get into the fundamentals of videography and specifically sports videography and really focus on filming a football game. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing you're going to obviously need is a camera. So let me show you. And of course, there are many people who have all sorts of different types of cameras. There are Sonys, Canons, Lumix, all sorts of different types. And all very good quality, I have to add to. But one camera that I really like using is the Lumix. It's the Lumix G7. Really good quality, really good coloring as well. You don't have to do so much that you would have to do with Sony. So this is one of my favorites, the Lumix G7. One of the new ones that came out, I really enjoyed, as I mentioned. So the first thing is you're going to want to know how to use a camera. So usually you get a whole full kit of everything that comes in it. So what you're going to do is you're going to just take that off, and then you're going to find whatever lens you want. Usually a 70-200 for filming football is the best, but again, there's some pregame shots that you can get on the field. So using a 24-70 or a 15-40 works really well too. But so for this, I have a 45-150. It's upside down. There you go. 45-150. I don't know if it worked, but basically you see these two red dots. Here's one and then here's one. You're going to make sure that they connect, and then you're going to want to hear that little click sound. So let's make sure. There's that clicking sound. And then basically you're just going to flip the screen to turn it on, just like this. And before you do anything, you may want to make sure that you have all the compartments. So in order to obviously film anything, you are going to need your SD card. So I have a 16 one here. And a lot of the cameras, there are different slots for where to put it, to put batteries and SD cards. So you'll see right here, this is where you're going to put the SD card at the very bottom. And you want to hear that little click sound. SD card also goes in just like that. Click it in, close this up, and then you're ready to turn the camera on. Now let me show you a little bit more in depth how the settings are for the Lumix. Now this may sound very basic, but you'll notice how it's not on. A ton of people forget to take the lens cap off. I know it sounds crazy, but that's probably the number one mistake that a lot of people make, so make sure you take off your lens cap. It doesn't really matter what you shoot in. You don't want to have your ISO up too high, so you want to lower that. Now again, a bunch of the cameras are very different, so you can play around with your settings, but for the Lumix, you're going to hit the menu button, the menu button. You're gonna see a lot of the, here's kind of the quality. It's actually really good quality. I really enjoy it. I have autofocus on right now, but you'll see there's a little side thing here, so you're gonna hit that, and that'll get you to your menu. So you can kind of play around with these, whatever you want. It depends. When filming outside, you always wanna make sure you have good white balance, and make sure that the lighting looks good. You obviously want to make sure your card is formatted so you don't have to run out of room when you're recording. So there's all little stuff like that. I really like the Lumix too because it's not too complicated and it's pretty simple to navigate. And maybe in episode 3 we'll get more into each little individual button, but we're going to get to the basics. So of course, here if you want to get out of the menu, just hit that little green button and then it'll take you back to the screen. So now we know how to turn the camera on, but you are still missing one big thing. If you're doing photography, it's a different story, but if you are doing videography, you want to hear good sound. So you want to make sure that you plug in your microphone right here. Again, different cameras have different settings on them, but right here is where you're going to want to plug it in. This is really bad. Yes, I'm aware. I do not draw, but this is kind of just where you're going to want to be. So when filming a football game, for pregame shots, you really can go anywhere, and it depends. If you're filming for one individual team, if let's say Ball State's on this side, then you're going to want to cover Ball State on this side for the pregame. But in the game, if you want to film for yourself or if you're filming for a team, then you want to make sure you're getting a lot of coverage of that. Now, the best places that I really recommend being are, you don't want to always be at the end zone because here's like the end zone right here. If they're all the way over here, you're going to kind of want to be on this side, but that doesn't mean you're going to want to be on their end zone. You can be kind of swimming around the 10 or like on each side of the 10, wherever you want, but wherever you think is best. I'll display them right here. And then you'll see some other angles from here. So yeah, just kind of play around, see what fits, and it all is really exciting. And honestly, I can't wait to see you on the sidelines at the next football game. Take care, and this was Caden's Comm Tips 101. We'll see you in the next episode.